Alright, so as you know, if you didn't watch my first video, please watch that. I mean, because it's important. I mean, it gives you some insight on where I've been at, and what I'm trying to my point, and why I'm doing this video. But yeah, I mean, I'm doing this because I do want to help you, and I want to help myself too. I actually just had my buddy left. I'm at my brother's place right now actually, because his drum set's here, all the music equipment and whatnot. That was the biggest thing. When I smoked, I would love to just play the drums. Like, I absolutely loved it, and that's gonna be the hardest thing, at least, because it's like, the way I can describe it is like you get so used to just adding it into your life. You wanna, when you go out and drive around or something, if you're going on a trip, like if I was going out of town or something to go to the mall, I couldn't wait because I get to just drive, smoke weed, and listen to music. And then I would always make an effort to go to Guitar Center when I got there, because they had a Guitar Center right by the mall, and then I'd play their fucking drums and piss them all off. But no, I'm actually pretty decent, so I wasn't just one of those asshole kids that came in there and just did just a bunch of nothing, and just piss everyone off. But that's the biggest thing, and it's going to be the biggest challenge. And actually, like I said, my buddy just left. We were jamming, and I kind of got a little down from it because I was just like, I felt like my creativity wasn't there. Like, I usually shred, and like I said, I'm like 5 days in now, and I wasn't really feeling it. I couldn't really get into it as much, and it just kind of bummed me out. So I wanted to, motivate myself by making this video, and hopefully motivate you guys to stop. Because like I said, I mean, it works differently with everyone. Like, I have plenty of friends. I don't know, I wouldn't really call them friends. I mean, acquaintances, I guess, at this point, because I figured out who my friends were when I really needed help. I really figured out who my friends were. But so yeah, like I said, it's gonna be hard at first, but I mean, it's just, you get so used to doing it, so used to when you drove. Yeah, my point. I'm like getting so sidetracked here, but you know what I was talking about, like going to the mall and stuff, going out of town. Like, I love smoking and going in my car listening to music driving, or like I said, playing music, or if something, like I said, in the mornings too. In the mornings, every time I woke up, I love to go out and smoke, because it was like a ritual. You just woke up and you wanted to, like, but you just get so used to adding these things, and it's like, it's a hobby that becomes like an addiction. You are addicted. Like, I mean, people say I can stop anytime I want. Like, I just choose not to stop because it makes things more interesting. Well, you haven't tried to stop. If you gave it a few days and you're like, oh, I want to smoke, that's, you want to smoke. You want weed. You can't just say, oh, I'll stop. I can stop anytime I want. Well, do it, and then prove something to me, and then I'll believe you. But I guarantee you that people who say that won't stop, because they love weed and what it does to them. It takes them over. It took me over, really. I mean, weed, I mean, at least me, I usually always only picked up in half-eighth quantities after I learned, a little bit about it. Like I said in the beginning, I was buying 2 grams at a time, which was stupid. It was a waste of $10 to get 0.3 extra, which is not even a bowl. Or, yeah, maybe it's like about a bowl. My bowls, at least, my 0.3, 0.4 bowls. I'm not one of those crazy people who smoke bongs and shit all the time, and vortexes and blunts. And I never like joints or blunts, but anyways, I always find myself talking about weed, and like, you can see my smile. Like, I like it. Don't get me wrong. I would love to smoke right now, but I don't have like a desire to. Like I said, the only problem is when I'm playing music, because I love to play music. It's like I'm literally a part of my instrument when I'm playing. Like, my mind is just attached to, like, to put it into context, like, my brain is like the, what do you call it, the control panel of the electronic drum kit. You know what I mean? Like, the sensor, the little, you know what the fuck I mean, the box thing on the electronic drum kit that you control all the noises and sounds and stuff with the different drum kits. I don't know what it's called. It's pissing me off. But anyways, that's the to put into context. That's the way I feel when I smoke and play drums. I just feel like I'm attached to the drum kit. But anyways, so that's the hardest thing. But I know it's you get used you get in the habit of doing it all the time, including your life, and it's like you get confused. You're like, what is life going to be like without it? You're so used to it for years and years being high basically every day. You don't know. It's almost like a high in itself to be sober. It's weird. It's really weird to say, but that's kind of how I feel. But like I said, luckily I have a few good friends now that are by my side with it. They're proud of me for doing it. I'm proud of myself. That's the biggest motivation. And luckily, I mean, I don't want to hear anything about it because I honestly don't care what you have to say about religion, but I strongly do believe in God. And that was another thing why I stopped too. I found myself, not praying, not, going to church anymore. I fell away from it, and I mean that's not me. Like I do believe in God. I would be scared shitless to die, knowing that or believing that there's nothing. That we're just, we're dead. Once you close your eyes, you never think again. You never see. You never experience anything. Like you're just gone. You're just a memory. Like that would just scare me to death. Like I do strongly believe there's a God. But anyways, that's a whole nother story. But so luckily, I have some strong motivations that's going to help me stop. And I am. I mean, trust me, I've taken breaks before, little 2-week breaks, or I mean, I went like a month one time and then went back to it because I was like, oh, I'm in control now. Like I'm fine. But I'm definitely done for quite, something tells me that I will eventually go back to it. But when I do, I know it has to be when I'm ready, when I'm done with school, when I have a stable job, when I have my shit together, and I don't have my shit together now. But anyways, let me get to, you guys. Let me give you some advice. Have some motivation. Have some things to really fuel you. You can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna quit. You have to have a reason to quit. Really, you do, and you have to think about every day, when you have an urge to smoke or something, whether it's, your girlfriend or your parents or, God, whatever you believe in, Buddha, whatever, but have something to fuel you, to give you strength, to help you to stop, to not, just give you some peace of mind whenever you think about it. Because you really can't just, be like, oh, I'm going to stop smoking for good. You have to, your life's probably got to be pretty shitty in order for you to be like, I have to stop good, for good. But, and that's another thing weed did to me. It's like, I have a hard time, like, keeping up with, like, I feel like my thoughts are racing so fast that I can't even, like, comprehend everything I'm even thinking about because it's like ADD or something, OCD, I don't know. But yeah, weed definitely changes who you are. You start to isolate yourself. At least I did. Like I said, weed works differently with everyone. Don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing weed. It's just with a lot of people it's like a depressant. It's just like alcohol. It's really, I mean, alcohol is definitely a lot worse for you, like physically, like medically and everything. But weed is definitely up there with it too. It's definitely not safe, and especially weed nowadays, because weed nowadays, compared to how it was 20 years ago, is so much more potent. Like seriously, like my brother actually tried some of the stuff I had maybe a half a year ago to a year ago, and he like was freaking out. Like he was like, "This is nothing like how when I was a kid. Like it's intense." Because now, I mean, you don't even know if your weed is like laced with something, man. Like it could have PCP in it, anything, Vicodin and Adderall, and all this, anything. You really have no idea. Like my buddy told me he and also you could be getting ripped off. You're going to these shady dealers to pick up weed, risking, your health and just, your life, man. You could get in trouble. You don't know where these people have been. Like, they could have cops watching them as it is, or they can have crazy. They could be crazy, or I'm not. I'm kind of going off the board here, saying just because you smoke weed doesn't mean you're crazy. I'm weird, but I'm not crazy. So, anyways, so like I said, I'm jumping everywhere, but you got to have some motivation. You got to have something to fuel you. Like I said, my schooling, my future, my parents too. Like I miss what I had. I miss who I was. Like, and I mean, I know I'll never be that person again, but I will definitely be much better off. And it's still so early to tell like the true differences in what I'm experiencing. Like, I haven't been sober for more than a month straight in the past 5 years, and I've only taken maybe 2 or 3 breaks in those five, or three and a half, 4 years, I should say, because like I said, I took that like 1 2 year break, but it's it just got to the point, and actually with me, it's for like a year and a half of those of that time frame when I was smoking, weed would actually make me so paranoid and like scared. It would literally scare me, and I felt like I was dying or like ill. There's no way to describe it. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of you who maybe know what I'm talking about, because I've actually heard it's kind of common, but for some people who are kind of naturally maybe a little who have anxiety, but I basically felt like right here, like right here, and all over here on the side of my chest, all of my ribs right here, all this side of the body, it would feel just like tender and like numb when I smoked. And it would scare me to death because like I literally I couldn't sit still. Like, I would constantly like be moving. I would never like I couldn't just relax. I would try to relax, and I just get too scared and too like I'd have too much anxiety where I'd have to like move around, especially around people. Like even my friends, my super close friends at the time, I would be around, and like it's just I would have such extreme anxiety. Like I couldn't like talk. Like even now, I kind of still have it. Like I don't feel pain or nothing, but you can hear it like in my voice. Like I'm kind of like rushing and like shaky. You know what I mean? Like my voice is kind of shaking, but yeah, I would feel such horrible, like scary pain, and I knew it was just in my head. Like I knew I was fine. It even got to the point where I had an EKG done because I was scared that like my heart was gonna explode one day. Like that's how serious it was, and like you guys may think I'm crazy, but it was scary. And the worst part was I kept smoking. I kept spending my money. I mean, I've in the past couple of years I probably made 25, $30,000 just working at these small minimum wage jobs for the most part. And I have $150 in my bank account right now, maybe 200. I mean, what does that show? I never bought my own car. Like I would make payments and whatnot. But it was my sister's car. She gave it to me because I needed one. My head gasket blew on my Intrepid, my first car, and this was when I was smoking too. This was whatever 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and she gave me her car. Like, what an amazing sister to just give me her car like that. Like, she could have easily took it to the dealer and got 5 grand for it easily because she was getting a new car, but she decided to give it to me because she's just that good of a sister. And the asshole I am, I signed, like, we signed a contract and stuff. Like, I signed a piece of paper, wrote it out. I was like, I will pay you, $200 a month in payment for this car. Like, I signed it, my dad signed it, my sister signed it, and she got probably $300-400 before I stopped paying her. And I just, like, I wouldn't pay her, and she would bring it up, and I'd just be like, oh, yeah, I'll get it, I'll get it. And I never did. And even to this day, and that just kills me inside for how good of a person she was to give her brother a $5,000 car. She could have made 5,000 if I had the chance at the time to sell my car for a new car and get 5 grand going towards it. I wouldn't have given her my car, honestly. And that's at the time who I was at the time. I would have taken the money. I would have taken the money, not thought once about it, and that is just horrible. And I just felt like a scum of the earth for that. But I continued to smoke weed and not pay her for the past couple of years, and I'm gonna make an effort now to surprise her. Surprise her. I don't know the next. I'm gonna start saving up, putting money aside, and I'm gonna pay her back what I owe her, and I'm just gonna give it all to her at once in the future whenever I have enough, and I am, and I can't wait to see the look on her face. But anyways, so it's kind of hard to say this, all this because it's like this is some real personal stuff. Like this is right out of the brain, man. Like this is what I was thinking about for a long time, and I just continue to smoke and not care. But anyways, have motivation. If you truly believe that you're a good person and you feel like the life you're living isn't right, isn't who you are, then truth be told, it's not. You are your best judge. No one else can judge you better than you can judge you. And if you have a conscience, everyone has a conscience. I don't care how fucked up you are, you have a conscience. Okay? It's just kind of hazed up, clouded, you know what I mean? No pun intended, by the way. But it comes down to how bad you want it. I told myself for a long time that I would stop, and just every other day went back to it. It comes down to you can do it or you don't do it and stop. I mean, seriously, the way I'm looking at it now, it's like I'm so stupid. It's like the sooner you stop, the sooner you don't have to deal with all the bullshit, all the depression, all the stress, I felt so isolated from the world. I felt like I couldn't make friends. I would go out in public and I would just stare at everyone. I'd look at people, or I'd stare at the ground when they would look my way. I'd look at the ground. I couldn't stare people in the face. I just destroyed my confidence. I couldn't, I felt like no girl would ever want to be with me or anything. I was ugly, just all this stuff, man. It was horrible, and I can't believe I let it go on for so long. And I mean, even now, that was just partially growing up too, but for the most part, it was the weed. It really was. It killed me inside. It really did. Even now, it just being off it for 5 days. I feel already so refreshed, man. It feels incredible. I don't know. I could tell you more about my life, but I'm sure you guys really don't want to hear it. I don't know what your intention is when you're watching this video. Hopefully to stop smoking, because I really don't think weed should be legal. I really don't, because it takes a special person. You have to have the right personality to smoke weed. You can't think of it as a necessity. You just have to think about it as just something to do once in a while to loosen you up. If I ever go back to it, I will do it whenever I don't have anything going on, when my work and schooling and all the important stuff is done, and I will only do it once a week, if that. But at the same time, I don't even know if I want to, because I'm enjoying life sober right now. Well, I'm having beer and whatnot, but you know what I mean. I'm starting to find myself again. I'm starting to partially feel normal. But if you want to stop smoking, have friends, talk to people. Talking really does help. I don't care if you have an ego where you're like, oh, that's my feelings. I'll feel like or I'll feel like a girly man or something, or I'm a man, I'm supposed to be strong. You're stronger if you talk to people about it, because you have the balls to share that's the problem with this world. I'm a very open person. I will talk to anyone about my life. For almost every aspect of my life, I'll talk to anyone about it. And that's one thing this world is losing. Everyone is getting so self-centered and caught in themselves that they forget to worry about other people and open up and show them who they really are. Everyone's just they're in their own worlds, their own lives. You see people driving around, I'll wave to random total strangers and I won't get a wave back, nothing. That could just be my area I live in. I'm in Illinois, but I don't think that it's really it. It's most people are just selfish for the most part. I know there's plenty of good people out there, but the ratio of, good people to bad people is, kind of favored in the bad people, or the selfish people, I should say, not bad. They're not necessarily bad people, but talk, like I said, talk to people about it. Really, let them know what's going on, get their insight, especially try to talk to sober people who don't do it, and then try to find people who used to do it and don't do it anymore, you know. But just, please, if you have any questions, if you ever want to talk or anything, leave me a message, or personal message me, whatever you want, and I seriously will take time out of my day and try to help you. I don't know how popular these videos are going to get, but like I said, if I could help one person, that's good enough for me, honestly. Like I said, I'm doing fine as it is. I kind of thought about it a bit today, because, we were jamming. But besides that, I really haven't had much desire to do it. I felt refreshed. I do. Life will get better. I mean, the first couple weeks will be bad. I'm not gonna lie. It's different with everyone. Like I said, I'm not having too hard of a time, but I stopped before, and the first couple days to a week were terrible. I was so mad and irritable and pissed at everyone. But yeah, you could do it. If you put your mind to it, you can achieve anything. We're human. Like, humans are a lot more complex than you think. Our minds, our capabilities, like the strength we can build when someone's in danger. Like, I've seen stories and read stories of, there was a car accident and a man was getting crushed under a car, and two dudes came up and completely lifted the side of the car up, and just I think it was actually a woman and a man came and lifted this car up off its side and pulled this man out. Like, just the adrenaline. Like, us as humans are capable of extreme things, and our minds are so intricate and complex. We can achieve anything we put our minds to. We really can. We really can. And if you believe it, just believe in yourself, and you can achieve anything. But I'm gonna stop rambling here. I hope this, for the most part, I think I was telling you more of my story, but I just want to let you know, you're not alone. There are people who have similar situations that you're going through, and I really do want to help you out. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to comment, leave me a message, anything you want, and I will do my best to help you out, give you some insight or advice. I'm not God or guru. Anyways, I'm not God. I'm not a prophet or fucking. I'm not all knowing, but I will definitely give you some advice and try to help you out, and we'll quit together. But there's more to life than smoking weed. You will enjoy life so much more. It's just changing from, you're so used to being high. It goes back to me saying it's like it's almost a high in itself being sober, because you're so used to being high. It does get better. It will get better. It's just you're so used to being high that you're scared of what life is going to be like. Oh, everything's going to be boring. Nothing's going to be interesting. Everything I do is going to be boring now. That's not true. You're just used to smoking and doing that. So of course it's going to be weird. You don't go to a bar and just talk to people. You go to a bar to drink and socialize. So, yeah, I mean, not everyone. There's some people there who are definitely sober. Don't get me wrong, but for the most part. Anyways, I'm going to stop talking. I actually have to head back to Ottawa now. I got work early. I probably shouldn't have told you my town. Hey, you know what? I don't even care. Anyways, but yeah. If you ever need help, like I said, I'm here. Leave me a message. Yeah, I think that's about it. I've rambled long enough. My throat actually hurts. I talk so much. Anyways, I hope this helped, honestly. And if you need anything else, I'm here. Anyways, best of luck to anyone who's trying to stop. And you know, if you enjoy weed and you strongly feel like it's not interfering with your life whatsoever, hey man, chief up. Whatever. All right, take it easy, guys.